Hey everyone, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I'm your host, Mikan.
And I am your host, Ichigo. What's up, guys?
Hey guys. Be sure to join us this week as we discuss food in anime. Hey guys.
What's up, guys? Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yay. Uh so this week we're going to be talking about all the delicious food in anime.
Yes. If you haven't eaten yet, by the time this episode comes
Get
out,
some food.
go get some food. Ah, I can't wait. Anime food is just, it
And
looks so good.
if the animation is good. If the
Yeah.
animation is good, it looks amazing.
Yeah. I will agree with that.
I feel like there's a difference between, like, cooking shows, and then there's also just, like, anime that's presenting like, particularly movies, I think anime that's
Mm.
presenting beautiful food, you know what I mean?
It's always anime movies where the budget is higher, the animation is a lot more lucrative,
Mhm.
so it just flows a lot better,
Oh, yeah.
that
Absolutely.
they could be making just a plain white rice and
Mhm.
putting it in a bowl, and it just looks like the most appetizing thing that I want in front of me.
Yeah, and if they have the right, like, sounds to it, ooh, it looks so good.
Girl. Now there is one anime in particular, I honestly, to this day, even if I rewatch it, I cannot watch it on an empty stomach.
Oh, what is that?
Shokugeki no Soma or Food
Ah,
Wars.
okay, okay.
That is the one anime. I mean, I
That's, like, the main
watched,
yeah,
yeah, I
main food
watched
anime, I would say.
all seasons, and
Mhm.
every single episode, I found myself either wanting to try to recreate some of the food. I didn't because I know better, but and it's one of those shows, like, I can't snack while I watch the show, like, I have to have a full meal because I'm gonna get hungry.
Really? Not even snacks?
Oh, no, there was one time I had to stop the episode because I had been snacking, and the food just looked so delicious that I was like, "Nah, I
Mhm.
need to get me some real food. Let me go let me go fix me some food real quick."
Yeah, I will say I did like personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Shokugeki no oh my god, I can't speak. Shokugeki no Soma. It's like a
Mhm.
tongue twister. But, I did like the aspect that they really showed the recipes and the display was really nice, and I just like that it was sort of like I guess you would say the shonen anime of food, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that I found a little like, "Okay, y'all are overplaying this," was the, fan service that they
Oh,
paired
yeah.
with
Yeah.
the food. Now, mind you, they did actually do a very good job, and I know that sounds weird, but when you're discussing a shonen where they're like, "Okay, well, we wanna have a little bit of fan service, but the show's about food. Okay, how are we gonna blend these 2 together?" They did a really unique way of
Mhm.
adding that fan service.
I mean, I feel like the fan service is, like, what made it also, like, famous, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
that absolutely bizarreness of it that kind of
Mhm.
people were like, "Okay." But, yeah, I feel like at times it did go a little too overboard.
It did, but I didn't mind it. And if
I minded
anything,
it.
it made me want to have somebody come to my house and make those exact dishes
Oh, yeah.
just so that I could experience not 100%, not the fan service, all that fan service side, but just, experience a little bit of how good it tasted.
Mhm. I also liked, Toriko. I didn't watch the whole thing, but, like, from what, the thing that
Ooh.
the episodes that I did see, I was like, "Oh, they had some nice food there." I'm gonna bring it back a bit to, like, 2004, but do you remember Yakitate Japan?
Yes.
That one. That like, immediately when I thought of food, I was like, "Oh my god, that show."
That show was good.
That show was interesting. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do like I feel like that was the first show where I saw where I could actually watch the entire show that was about cooking.
I've actually seen a couple of anime out there about cooking, and I want to say my top 2 is well, I have 3, but no top 2 that comes to my head is Food Wars and, um, it's more recent, it was an isekai, and it was, like, Cooking in Another World, I think is what it's called, the English title is
Oh,
called.
oh, is it no, okay, maybe I'm thinking because I think there was, like, 2. There's, like, Campfire Cooking in Another World Proves Fantasy. Oh, sorry, Campfire Cooking in Another World, I think?
Yeah, I think that's the one where the guy gets isekai'd and he is now cooking for this big time,
Yeah, and
monster, I guess? It's not a demon, but
yeah,
it's a
it
monster.
it's like a monster, and he has, like, a little slime buddy.
Mhm, yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one. That
mhm,
one was also another show. That one, mind you, had very little to no fan service whatsoever,
mhm,
and the way that he cooked his food, I was just like, "It looks so good," like,
mhm.
the meat this I'm telling you, if you have a good anime cooking show that makes my stomach growl while watching the show, I'm gonna finish watching it because I'm adding these to my recipe book.
Yeah,
At least the easy ones. I know better from Shokugeki no Soma, okay? I've gotten my heart hurt too many times, and I was like, "Man, that looked easy to make. He makes it look so
mhm.
easy."
And
Nope,
you're like, "Nope, nope." They
absolutely
just
not.
make it look easy. Have you ever seen Silver Spoon?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I have.
Um, it's a little more, like, on agriculture based, and it kind of has, like, a interesting, take on food. Personally, I didn't finish it because it was a little too slow for my personal taste, but it's pretty well known, I would say, and it's the same person who wrote, well, Fullmetal Alchemist, so
Ah,
and it's pretty cute for anyone who's, like, interested in the agriculture world and just, like, some slice of life. It's not my cup of tea, but it was back in the day quite popular.
I haven't seen that. It's called Silver Spoon?
Silver Spoon, yeah.
Okay, Imma have to check that out.
But it's more about farming, so but it does have, like, to do with, like, a little bit about food and whatnot and where food comes from. I I feel like this is something you would know. Not many people would know this anime, but I feel like it's something you would know. There was a lot of, like, notebooks and whatnot created off of this characters.
Okay.
Yumeiro Patissier, Dream
Yes,
Color
that's
Pastry
actually
Chef.
in my top 3.
I knew. I was like, "If anybody knows this one, it's you. It's
It's
Ichigo."
me. Yes. So, that show actually was one of the few shows that got me interested in I know this sounds weird, but it got me interested in sweets in Japan. So, Japan is
And
known for, like,
Ichigo's?
their traditional sweets, but not so much for their more westernized
Mhm.
treats. I mean, now I feel like through social media, we see a blend of both, right?
Yeah.
But that show in particular was the first show that I was introduced into, like, the ichigo keiki or the strawberry
Yeah.
cake,
And her name is
and
Ichigo too.
yeah. There's a reason I have this nickname, guys, and if you wanna know why, drop your questions for the specialty episode. But that was one of the very few shows that I was like, "I really want to go to Japan and try all of Japan's westernized sweets."
Mm, they got good cream. Like, cream related stuff is so
Oh,
good.
there is one cafe, and you know this cafe. I'm not gonna throw the cafe name out, but It's a place I used to work, and that's all I'll say.
Oh, okay, okay.
And this one particular cafe had the best custard cream
Oh.
in pretty much anywhere I went in Japan. That particular place had the absolute number 1 best custard cream. Oh my gosh. I mean, they had so many pies that had this custard cream in it. I would just it's hard to describe, guys.
Mhm.
You just have to taste it. Just go to Japan. If anybody wants the details, let us know. I give it to you. But look, this place was so, so good. The custard cream, you could literally just have a bowl of that custard cream and just eat it with a spoon. That's how good it was. Thinking about it now is I'm just like, "Oh, I want some."
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, they your place did have really good cakes and everything. I feel like what Japan does is, like, they perfect the not too sweet, but also
Mhm.
sweet, like, desserts,
Yeah.
and it just works really well.
Which I wasn't 100% used to the first time I went to Japan.
Mhm.
And I think part of that is when you are born and raised in the States, especially in the South, if y'all have not been able to determine yet, I'm from the South.
I've seen her do some questionable stuff to food, okay? Even to water. I remember the first time we, like, hung out, you put sugar in the water, and I was, like, shook. I had never in my life seen anyone do that, and I was like, "Oh, that must be a
What
Southern thing."
you put a little bit of sugar in the water and you get some lemon. And then you got a makeshift lemonade, kind of.
I I mean, I remember when I
It
talked
saves
to your
money.
husband, he said that's just a you thing, so I
It's
don't know
not just a
if
me thing.
and also the sugar in the spaghetti, he said that's an Ichigo thing, so I don't know if
Okay,
that's
okay,
a
look,
Southern thing or just a you
I'm
thing.
not attesting that part to the Southern thing, that might just be a family thing,
Family
but,
thing.
we gon' have to I know a lot of people are like, "What?" This episode.
Oh my
No,
god.
for I will say American cakes and cookies and treats have a lot more sugar content than Japanese cakes and cookies and treats
Mhm,
do. So that was something that I definitely had to get used to when I moved to Japan because I was like, "Ugh, this cake, I mean, it's good, but it's just not sweet enough in my head." So what I wanted to do was just add a little bit more sugar to the cake, which
mhm,
obviously sounds weird, but I eventually got used to the sweets. Having that lower of a level of sugar in them, that when I moved back, I actually stopped for a little while eating American sweets because I they were too sweet for me.
mhm.
And it's all thanks to Yumeiro Patissier.
I actually have a question. Like, what is the one food scene from any movie or any anime that, like, when you think of food anime, it, like, immediately pops into your head? Like, just one, like, your top.
Mm, I don't know if I have a top, but
Or when I say food like, right now, when I say food anime, what is the first, like, scene that pops into your head?
um probably Food Wars.
Okay.
This is in a later season. I can't remember if it's the last season, the very last season, or like the second to last season. But they're in a competition, in a food competition, and there's one girl who makes a rose tart basket. Like it is a basket that she has made out of bread,
Mhm.
freshly baked, and then all of the decorations inside the basket were rose candies, and then on the bottom of it was like a tart.
Oh, wow.
And it looked like a basket of roses. It was
Ooh.
absolutely beautiful. And I wanna say that particular scene for me was the one that was like, "Okay, this is, like, high quality anime cooking right here."
I see.
I wanna say that that's probably I mean, quite honestly, any of the dishes that, were made in Shokugeki no Soma had that effect for me.
Mhm. So they, like, stuck with you.
Mhm.
Interesting. I mean, that makes sense, yeah. For me, I would have to say it's honestly, like, the first thing I thought of was Karushifa from Howl's Moving Castle with the eggs and the
Ah,
bacon, like, that is, like, just cemented in my brain as, like, the first thing I think of when I think of food anime. It's, like, the
yeah,
simplest meal, and yet the sound, the look of it, oh my god, it was so good. Also, a lot of Kiki's delivery service. A lot of their breads, scenes, and then but I would have to say more than Kiki's, I would probably be Naruto, just eating his ramen because that's, like, my childhood.
yeah. Naruto was
That
definitely
ramen.
one of the ones shows that I was like, "Man, I really want some ramen," and I do clearly remember going to the grocery store trying to get me a Maruchan ramen and make it like
Matcha
Naruto's ramen.
matcha ramen.
My first time ever having ramen in Japan was quite honestly one of the best experiences. And I remember it distinctly because our friend Yuzu took me to this really big ramen place near my house in Kyoto.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that after you finish all the noodles, you could ask for more and they'll just bring you extra noodles and put it in your
Oh,
broth.
yeah, yeah.
And so when I was done, I was like, "Man, I'm still kinda hungry." She was like, "Oh, just ask for extra noodles. It's like $1."
Yeah,
I ended up getting
and
like
they
2 or
just
3
throw in there.
extra.
It's good.
It
And,
is so good.
it's really good. You know what I love, though, about the fact that anime for instance, like, let's say Naruto, which is, like, a huge classic, especially in America. I
Mhm,
just love that people know because Narutomaki, for those of you who don't know, probably many of you do, is something that's actually in ramen and kind of where Naruto got his name from, but
mhm.
it's like this cured fish, and it has, like, the little swirl on it, and I just love that a lot of people who would have never known what that was, like, know what it is because of Naruto, like, from just, like, an anime. I just love that part that aspect of anime,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
really cute.
Well, not only that, now a lot of people know what a omurice is,
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
omelet
man.
rice, um, katsudon, and,
Yep.
um,
Onigiri,
onigiri.
bento,
Yeah. Anime food in general has
oden.
introduced worldwide, like, so many different dishes that are I don't wanna say everydays, but I will say everyday, like, everyday dishes in Japan,
Yeah, like their classic dishes. Absolutely.
and
I
I
mean,
mean
it's really like, yeah, it's like a culture exchange kinda thing,
mhm.
experience. In your opinion, though, what would you say are, like, the top let's try to figure out, what do you think is the most, in anime, what food shows up the most?
Mm.
Because I know we got onigiri, right? We got some bento.
Well, here's the thing, I feel like there's been a shift between time periods. In the '90s, I feel like you saw more onigiri,
Yeah.
especially in Pokemon when they called them jelly donuts. The
Wait, was
po
that a thing?
Yeah, the Pokemon dub, I think his name
The
I can't
dub
remember
called
his
it jelly?
the dub called I think it was Brock. Brock was holding an onigiri, and
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat my jelly-filled donut," and I was like, "Yeah, because American jelly-filled donuts are white with"
Rice with something inside, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they call it a jelly-filled donut,
Oh my
which I
gosh.
actually think as he was eating it, it was a, umeboshi onigiri, which is a plum
Plum.
onigiri. But
That's bizarre.
I wanna say more so like '90s to, um, early 2000s, I saw a lot more onigiri and bento
And dango.
and dango and mochi.
Mochi,
Um,
yeah.
and then obviously like the westernized style cakes, so you see a lot more of, like the strawberry cakes or, like the tiramisus and things like that.
Mhm.
And now I wanna say I see a lot more omuraisu, curry, which is traditionally not Japanese, but
Yeah.
Japanese style curry,
I feel like oden
katsudon,
too. Yeah.
oden, or if they're sick, they always have I can't think of the Japanese name, but the English translation is it's called like a rice porridge.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna say I've seen a lot more of, like, those types of meals
Mhm.
in more recent anime than I did back in the '90s.
Yeah, that's true. I do agree on that. There's a little bit more, variety, or at least it's like a shift in what I guess you would see normally classically.
Mhm.
Japanese like a lot of eggs too, and I feel like
Yes.
the eggs they used to do was a little bit more like classic in a sense, but now they have so many like different style of eggs.
Yes. I wanna say a lot has definitely shifted, but now I see more dishes that are, I'll say, traditional to Japan.
Mhm.
So, like, a katsudon or omuraisu or the rice porridge dish, or even, a lot of different dishes with different types of fish,
Mhm.
and ramen, obviously. I don't know, what about you? Do you think there's any
I mean, I do think there's more different like foods now. I don't really see onigiri like the way I used to see it in the 90s. There would always be a character eating onigiri
Mhm,
back then, I feel like all the time. But now I don't see that as much. Like there's like two movies that I know about that have really, really beautiful animation. And they do have like small food scenes. I don't know if you've seen The Garden of Words.
yes.
Kotonohana. Yeah.
Mhm,
I mean, I know they have like a cutting scene and ramen making scene, and that scene is always used for like aesthetic anime cooking for all the time. Like in any video that particular scene is used. And also there's also Flavors of Youth, which is like
mhm,
a Netflix original,
yep,
which one that one was also very cute. And they have like a food scene as well. And it's just the animation is so top tier that it just makes all, like, the vegetables, the food, everything, the cutting, um, and I feel like that's more so what a lot of food anime focus on, just making it look pretty versus, like, what they're making, if that makes sense.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. The anime aesthetic, like, cooking videos that you see on social media, I've actually followed a few of those channels because it's
Uh-huh.
just it
It
looks
looks so
so
pretty.
good, and
Mhm.
there is one girl in particular that I've seen circulating on Instagram. I cannot think of her name, but, she makes a lot of cooking videos where she recreates
Oh, I love those.
different foods from anime, and so the one
Yeah.
that she made recently, I think I've actually sent you a couple of her videos, but she did, a fried rice dish from One Piece,
Oh.
and it looked so good. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Like, she's taking and she's doing it, like, simultaneously to the anime video, like, she's showing the anime video and then she's cooking it at the same time. So you get to see the anime version and also the real life version.
That's cute. Like, yeah, next to each other, right?
Mhm. I love watching those videos. I can't do it myself, but I love watching them.
You never know until you try, Ichigo.
Um, guys, I know my limits.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
I'm not
you could
saying
probably
I'm a
make
bad cook. I
fried
can cook,
rice.
but I'm no chef. Okay, guys?
Mhm.
I'm not. I married a chef. So,
Have him make it.
look, mm-mm. No, because then I feel like I would get my my hopes up if it's not made right.
I need you to tell him that. The next time you see him, I need you to tell him that right
Oh,
to
he
his
knows.
face.
He knows. There have actually been a couple of, I can't remember if we were watching a Ghibli or if we were just watching a show and they were doing a cooking scene, and I was like, "Man, that looks good." He kinda turned to me and he was like, "Yeah, I can make that." And I was like, "No, it's okay."
No, it's okay. Wow,
This
the faith you have
No,
in
and
him.
he's actually, like, a really good chef, you guys. Like,
Mhm.
he makes the most delicious food.
Yeah, he
It
does.
is top tier, and I'm not just saying that because I'm his wife, like, if I'm very blunt
No,
with him when it comes to
he's actually a really
cooking.
good cook. Yeah.
He's a really good cook, but, do I want him to make some food that I see out of anime? No, I don't, but that's just my personal preference.
You're like, "I don't want you to kill the dream. Let me
It's
hope."
like, "Look, I love you, but, no thank you." Um, I also feel like at the end of the day, he might try to make his own version and put a spin on it, and I'm like, "That's
Yeah.
not what they did in the show,
Mhm.
so I don't need you to make a spin on it, okay?
You're like, "You
You
just
are
have to
not."
follow the directions."
You are last time I checked, you were not Soma, so I don't need you to just
Put your little splash on there, your personal splash.
no,
No, no, no.
if this is how it looks in the show, this is how they do it in the show. This is how I want you to cook it, okay? But I
Oh,
will say
man.
Ghibli food,
Mhm.
I'm sure everybody can agree. Even the little, half sunny side up egg on the bread with the little sliver of ham in Castle in the Sky
Mhm.
looked so appetizing.
Amazing.
I understand Ghibli came out, some of them before we were born, quite a few of them before we were born,
Mhm.
but the aesthetic of the food is just so
The details and everything, yep. It's
girl.
so well done.
I want Ghibli to come out with an official cookbook.
Oh, yeah. I think they have one.
I didn't see one when we was at the Ghibli store.
I don't think you can find it at Ghibli store, but I think there is, like, a cookbook for Ghibli movies.
I think they just officially, like Ghibli officially released either a Spirited Away or a Kiki's Delivery Service version, but you can only get it on Amazon Japan.
Oh, I see. I know there are a lot of unofficial ones,
Right.
so but I thought they did. But yeah, it might have just been, like, a few recipes.
I want an official one. Or even like an official cookbook where you get to create all of the original meals slash dishes from each Ghibli movie. And then what I want them to have in addition to that is like certain dishes that they've created as like an inspiration to the show.
Oh, that's
So
cute.
like if Hal had his own meal that he would cook, what would it be?
Yeah. Maybe, like, representing colors that he has or, like, his personality and whatnot and or what he
Yes.
would make. Yeah, all
Mhm.
put together. That would be really cute, actually.
I think that would be fun, and I bet you they would sell out. Studio Ghibli, if you wanna take that idea.
They probably already got so much other stuff they're doing. Busy.
That's true. I'm just saying though, if you this episode ever comes across your lap and that's an idea.
Exactly, yes. Give us all the recipes.
This episode's made me hungry. I'm hungry now.
I know. Are you guys hungry? Because 'Cause I'm hungry. I'm sitting here like my stomach is about to growl. But you guys, let us know, like, what is your favorite meal? Like, what is the first meal that you think of when you think of food and anime? And be sure to follow us on Instagram and, of course, on TikTok as well at Anime Sekai Podcast. And as always, be sure to tune in next week.
And don't forget to turn in your questions, okay? We will be doing a
Mhm.
special episode at the end of this month for our 1 year podcast anniversary. So, whatever
Yes.
questions that you guys have for us, we do have it pinned on Instagram. It should be the first pin that you see. You can just drop your questions and or comments, positive comments,
Mhm.
down below, and we'll be sure to read them on our 1-year podcast anniversary. Okay, guys? So stay tuned.
Let us know all the questions. Give us
Thanks.
crazy questions.
Yes. No, give her the crazy questions.
I'll take them. I'll take them all.
Thanks, guys. See you next
All
week.
right. See you guys. Bye.